Okay, so yeah, within the narrative in your mind, you are both the actor and you are both the audience. And what's so special about that? What's that like? Well, I think mindfulness and maybe a protrudement or an awareness about the idea of finding the self within your mind, within your narrative. Um, I think it is a way in which life can become more objectable. You can when you become more aware that you are the actor of your life and that you also are the audience of your life, there could be in the journey of the self this idea of like figuring out what what it is that you would like to be acting out so that you would applaud. There is that idea within the observer, and that there's that idea also. So that's a pretty powerful mechanism there because it really does provide a pathway for change. And in addition to that, a little note here. I highly suspect, I think it's very likely that people who practice mindfulness do it so that they can change. It would seem to make a lot of sense. We all kind of, when are in a state of knowing about the future in a way in which we think that we're going to change, that we are kind of, we have a premonition about it, that life is going to change in in that um, that abstract idea of the future. And mindfulness is kind of like, okay, how would I, and having and having, I would say, a good relation to the narrative in your mind, or or not. I don't know, but it seems like the mechanisms or the pathway for how you do change is when that you realize that you are both the actor and the audience. What would you applaud to? What would you applaud about? And then how would you go act that out? And so when you become the observer and you kind of have to meditate and kind of I would say you grow into it. I would say you participate in its invention. Um, and it's interesting at all that it happens even at all. Um, it's I think when I said that you can kind of maybe touch the compass of your life a little bit, I think it might be an idea like that, where you would figure where you have some type of say, or you have some type of narrative where you're moving towards a more and more serious conversation, um, kind of with the self about the idea of liking the actions that and that having a way about you in which you understand that the audience part of you, the self, would clap and smile as opposed to frown about what you also are aware of yourself that you are acting out life. And so that's a pathway, I believe, for change. And I believe to have a more serious conversation with yourself and probably with others as well, for change. And I think that people find that um, find that very nice, very helpful. I think they find that interesting, but I also think that they find it like a good thing, like an adventurous thing, like like a pathway. It's kind of like inventing a pathway for change. And so, yeah, that's a little bit more about what I'm talking about when I say the relation to the narrative that's going on inside your mind. Um, and I said a lot of stuff basically that was like, I think the brain is in a big processing of data game, multiple games, you know, language games, old language games, tribal games, very I would inherent games, where you know, as you kind of understand the self more, you might even realize how you're kind of been fabricated and put together a little bit as far as your thinking processes and the games that you play. And I think that even things kind of make more sense, um, or they can.